Prominent Jewish activists are now calling for the defunding of George Washington and Yale, but not NYU yet. The school's press office did put out a statement, as you mentioned, saying that they are withholding the student's degree while they seek disciplinary action, saying that he actually lied to the university about what would be in his speech before he gave it. The university's press office also saying that they do not agree with the one-sidedness of this speech and for a student to give their political and personal views without telling the other side of the story in front of such a large audience. Now, we've also heard from other schools like Columbia and other Ivy Leagues that have been dealing with this issue as well, that the number of students who are out there participating in these protests are less than 1% of the entire student body on the campus, saying, trying to kind of backtrack what we've been seeing for the past few years, saying that they don't represent the opinions and the viewpoints of everyone on those campus. Now, you might remember Columbia has also experienced significant defunding to the tune of $400 million from President Donald Trump and his administration. Harvard also seeing $2.2 billion in funding be slashed. We're still waiting to see what might happen with NYU, George Washington, and Yale after this past weekend. Back to you.
Christina Thompson, thank you for that live update. Hard to listen to some of those comments from the students. Let's bring in our panel. We are pleased to have former Executive Director, Iranian Americans for Liberty, and Newsmax columnist Bryan Leib with us, and former New York State Assemblyman and founder of Americans Against Anti-Semitism, Dov Hikind. Gentlemen, a pleasure to have you. So NYU says they should have told both sides, but this has been a problem at these campuses and the universities. When you hear this, and is an apology really going to be enough here? It seems like such a culture problem. Dov, I'll start with you.
Look, this is, as you pointed out, this has been going on for such a long time. And, Democrats for, 4 years under the Biden administration, they're all against anti-Semitism, but did absolutely nothing in terms of what was going on at universities, the violation of the rights of students, supporting terrorist organizations. This is not about supporting Palestine. This is about supporting Hamas and Hezbollah and so on and so forth. And finally, the world has changed since Donald Trump became president. It's called consequences. For 4 years, you could get away with anything, with hate, violating other people's rights, violence, you name it. Finally, there are consequences, and we're going to see results as a result.
They're pulling funding. They're obviously, under this administration, taking it very seriously. Jewish students have to be able to feel safe. When you hear these students speaking, though, the message doesn't seem to be getting through to all of them. Bryan, what's your take?
Well, let me say that Dov is exactly correct, and that finally we are seeing that these ludicrous actions do finally have consequences, and that is because we have a new commander-in-chief being President Donald J. Trump. He has put anti-Semitism front and center for the American people to see. We all saw how ugly it's been over the last year and a half since October 7th, but we also saw Biden not do a single thing. And now we see it's the polar opposite, where President Trump is really holding these universities accountable. And a point I want to make to the audience is, we see these woke speeches all the time, and you hear these words like Free Palestine. When do we ever hear these speakers calling for Hamas to release the hostages? The answer is they never do, because they don't care about the hostages. Maybe they don't think that there actually are hostages inside of Gaza right now. These kids are so brainwashed, and it's brainwashing based on lies, not based on the reality. Listen, the mask is off. We all see it now. And thankfully, we have a president and an administration that actually cares about standing up for Jewish people in this country.
It is so important, your comments hitting all the points there, that people see it very clearly. And now, against the latest talks, we'll see what happens with those students. Dov, Bryan, great to see you both, gentlemen. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Bianca.